Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name is Josh. Thank you for joining me today. A lot of people have been waiting for this video. I kind of talked about this a little while ago. I was going to do a full video on the exploitation of Abby Moss, and I've decided because there is so much to cover, okay? And I'm working with some people behind the scenes who will stay anonymous, who are helping me dig up the things I need to dig up. But basically today we're going to dive into episode 1 of the series. The whole series is called The Exploitation of Abby Moss, and we're going to treat it like a heist, okay? We're going to talk about who the crew is, what's going on, and we're going to dive into where the problems all started. And then we're going to see how this pans out. I'm not promising that I'm going to do 100 episodes, but I'm going to promise you're going to cover it with to the best of my ability. A lot of people have been asking me to snark on the Dad Challenge channel about this family. You're not going to see me snark on this family, okay? Because this is too important to dilute, okay? It's too important to mess up by saying stupid things about people like I do on the other channel. This one carries a lot of weight for me because this is one of the most exploitative, insane stories I've ever heard and discovered on YouTube, and I just can't. So I got to keep this serious. I got to keep it straight. I'll have some fun, obviously, but I won't be snarking. That's why we're over here on the Dad Challenge podcast, because it's one of the most important stories that's gonna, I hope, to lead to some major change. Because if you don't know the story about, Ace and Moss and fathering autism and Abby and Priscilla and the whole team, it's a deep, dark place on YouTube that seems to be bright and light, and everybody's like, yeah, but it's nice. They're just helping people with autism. And I think the truth is going to come out near the end of all this, during this whole thing, that it really isn't. In the end, my only point that I ever have to make ever about any of these family vlogs, no matter if I snark on them or not, or whatever it is, people are like, why is that mean? When you exploit children on YouTube without their consent, okay, it's wrong. And that's why I do this. All right, so before we get to that, I always have to throw a ball just because it's what I do for my Patreons. Coming soon, also the people who've joined my YouTube subscription side. We're trying to gather all the names. It's not as easy as you think, but stay tuned, those are coming. And then just keep honoring those people who at all levels are supporting me, and I really appreciate that. This stuff takes a lot of time. This one has specifically taken weeks, to be honest with you, and it's not even close to being finished. So I just want to say thanks for those who support me monetarily, and thanks to those who watch this anyway. I don't want to just always honor those who just support me monetarily, but when people give me money monthly, I feel like I gotta give them a little extra, but it doesn't mean that I don't think it doesn't mean that I'm not appreciative of everybody who watches this and supports this. But if you can't get into the Patreon or join the thing, let me know. I'll throw your name up there, okay? But just be real. Let's do this. You ready? Spin time.
Yeah, baby.
Lacey Klein. Let's do it. Sam, watch Sam. Ready? Where is he? Sam, he's like, you suck. All right, let's roll. So welcome to episode 1 of The Exploitation of Abby Moss. And where do we start? We've got to start with, who is Abby Moss? So Abby Moss is a nonverbal teenager. She's 15 and she has autism. Abby Moss is the daughter of Priscilla and Asa Moss. Okay, and these two people run a channel called Fathering Autism. Now, Fathering Autism came up on my radar because so many people were asking me to cover them. And a lot of people were saying, don't cover him, it's scary, he's got crazy fans, they're called leg humpers, that come into your chat, they try to shut you down, they'll bully you, whatever it is. But you guys know me, I'm not going to be bullied. I'm at a place, I think I'm in this space of YouTube where you can bully me, or you can try to bully me, but I just don't. I think what happens with me is I just don't give a shit what you have to say. A lot of times I appreciate people coming in and leaving comments that would be considered hate comments, because I really want to know what you have to say. I don't think, often I'll call you a dummy or whatever, but I really do enjoy reading comments from people who are uneducated about this, because what it allows me to do is respond in kind and say, you're dumb, and here's why you're dumb. Not just because you're dumb, but here's why you're dumb. And I want to let people understand, and to be honest with you, there's been, 50 or 60 comments where people are like, I used to watch Fathering Autism, I no longer watch Fathering Autism, because you've opened my eyes to this thing. And I love that people are willing to at least listen. those who come in my argument, those who come into my comment section and make the same lame argument that I'm jealous of them or whatever the case may be, let me just be clear, okay? YouTube isn't where I make my money, okay? I am independently employed. Okay? I work for myself, but I make money to pay for the things I need to pay for. I love my life. I'm not poor, okay? We are fine. We do well. I'm not jealous of anybody's lifestyle. If anything, I'm kind of like sad for them because I would never want my family to go through what these family vloggers put their families through. I don't want them to, again, I keep talking about how privacy is going to be this thing in the future where you're going to pay a lot of money to have your shit erased on the internet because your parents put everything out there. It's going to be a huge billion-dollar industry, okay? The data that they're collecting from our children, from the moment our children are on iPads or even before they're born is insane. The brands, everybody who has Instagram accounts for their babies, that's just insane to me. And so I'm not jealous. Okay, maybe I'm jealous of his hats. No, I'm just kidding. I have my own cool hats. I'm not jealous of these people. Okay, if anything, I absolutely love my life. I love my family, and we have a really good relationship. And what you see is what you get. It's kind of who I am. But some of the comments do come in and say, "Well, have you give thought to this? Have you thought about this and this?" And I try to look at it from her perspective, and I have a lot of people arguing for me and leaving comments for me and sticking up for me, and I appreciate that. But in the end, I really like to make this stuff available for people who basically drink the Kool-Aid, because when you start seeing how the sausage is actually made, shit starts to be different for some people, okay? And likely they don't want to see it. But those who wake up to this thing, that's an important thing. Not because I want to deplatform them or anything like that. But my main goal here on YouTube, as most of you know, is to help figure out how we can bring more protections in for kids who can't consent, like expanding the Coogan law to those on YouTube. And I think that's coming down the pike pretty soon. It's about honestly, no joke. It's about throwing shade and snark at those people who refuse to see what they're doing is wrong. One of the biggest things that popped up recently was the PPP loans and how pissed people are that these wealthy people on YouTube have taken loans that they didn't need, right? And that's exploded right now. But the main conversation will always go back to the exploitation of children, right? This hasn't become really a big deal until recently, and it's become a huge topic conversation. So when we talk about Abby Moss, we have to talk about the idea that she is exploited and likely will be exploited for a long period of time unless this can stop. So Abby Moss is 15 years old. She has IDD and autism, and IDD is, it could be argued that a lot of people believe that, it could be argued that her IDD is her main diagnosis, right? But autism is the key phrase that a lot of people are using right now. It's a hot ticket video item. It's the word that people are just, it's like, I don't know how to say it. It's like the hot topic, and so they use that. But if your main diagnosis is IDD, autism is secondhand, and it could be the same thing. But they rarely talk about the IDD, right? And I think that's a really important thing, which we'll get into in a future episode, because I'm not educated enough on IDD. Neither am I educated on autism, but I'm reaching out to people who are either autistic or in that industry to come on and give me the real goods, not someone who's a father of a kid with autism. Not saying that Asa doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, he's literally had a daughter with autism for 15 years. He knows some shit. Like, I do believe that. But at the same time, he's not an educated professional. There is a difference for those who are educated in universities, have PhDs and degrees and this type of thing, and parents who have it, and parents who experience it. There's a big difference. And so that's, I think, one of the most important parts of this series is going to be interviewing those who not even necessarily are against fathering autism, but will give me the goods on what this actually is, and maybe say what he's doing good and what he's doing wrong. That's really important here, because I'm not here to just throw shade all the time and say he's completely wrong, because as I've said before, I don't think that's the case. Okay. So back to Abby Moss. Sorry, this is how my brain works. I'm really sorry. So Abby Moss, again, 15 years old, being exploited since she's little girl. There's videos of her mom pulling her mom's hair and all this kind of stuff, and they filmed everything, right? The first video I did on them was the thing that really pissed me off was this video where Asa is showing you how she uses the bathroom.
Autism. Are you telling everybody hi? That's very good. Okay, look, we're not.
It's the forceful look at the camera. It's the movements. Okay. Now, she didn't take her clothes off or anything like that, but it was, to me, set this whole thing in motion that it's not only about the exploitation of Abby, because her future is different than a lot of these kids that are on YouTube, like Jess Fam, LeBrance, all these major big time YouTubers. Those kids are going to grow up and they're not going to have any privacy, but they have to live normal lives, right? They go to college, high school, they do all these things. They're going to have futures where they get to go to the workforce or not, whatever the case may be. With Abby, it's a little different. I've said this before, because she obviously will not be doing the same things as a kid that doesn't have ID and autism, right? She likely will be in care for the rest of her life, whether through her parents or brother or through a system or whatever the case may be. And so her future of privacy isn't the same, and that's what I've made the argument for. But the line I want to draw is between the exploitation and the lack of dignity that every human deserves to have. Okay, dignity and privacy kind of go hand in hand in this case, where the dignity that Abby is not going to be able to have is because they put her whole life on the internet, from stimming to diarrhea on a public boat and lashing out in restaurants and hitting people on airplanes and all these types of things. They're sharing this with the world, okay? And what they're doing is under the guise of, well, this is what it's like, and so we're going to tell you all about it, and this is how we educate you. And I want to just push back right away about the idea that we bring awareness. Now, to bring awareness to something is not necessarily a bad thing, right? To say like, well, we want to normalize this and say this is normal and blah, blah. In the end, IDD and autism, specifically nonverbal autism like Abby has, that just means that Abby and these kids that are like this. But when they go into public, people, I understand what he's trying to say here. Is like when someone goes into public and you've seen a video about Abby and you see someone similar to Abby, maybe you'll start thinking about, oh, that girl's just like Abby, and you'll start understanding a little bit more. That's where I think that's a positive. That is a net positive for what ASA is doing on fathering autism. I think that's a really important thing to state right off the top. That yes, this could be. I do believe that there is some positive awareness that he is raising towards this, but at the cost of Abby's privacy and dignity. Is it worth it for that? And I also made the argument that why is Abby the one that needs to be the person that is for lack of a better term, the example the world needs, right? And not having her permission to do so, I can't square it. You don't have her permission, they don't have her permission, and now she's a teenager and she's been on this channel for a long time, and they just don't have her permission. So yeah, there's some good that does come from it, but at the sacrifice of her dignity, I don't think is fair. So that's kind of where we landed last time in all the videos, but today we're going to bring into the story. You know, we're going to talk about this from like a position of like, you know, when you watch a heist movie or whatever, we're going to bring in the actors. We're going to talk to you about who is the team that is taking advantage of Abby Moss, okay? And there's a bunch. I'm not going to name everybody, but I'm going to name the main actors and the main players. It's a really, really important thing to talk about because in the end, I want to hopefully draw the conclusion, or I want to convince you, or I want to prove that if this many people are taking advantage of one person, it can't be right. Right? There's just too much going on, too much riding on the fact that Abby is the paycheck for this family. And so that adds to another core of the issue: privacy, dignity, and the fact that she's the one that brings them in their money. If Fathering Autism took Abby off the channel today, that channel would plummet. And he knows it. And I've proven this in the videos in the past, and you can go take a look at them, where Priscilla with her MLM, Lipstick Mama, and she sells Lime Life or whatever it's called, every time that she has Abby in one of her posts, okay, that post has at least 6 times or even more than that the engagement of a post without Abby in the photo, right? And she will use Abby to sell the lipstick. Look, we're doing the hand cream, and Abby wants you to know that there's these deals going on, and it's icky, right? And so I have to introduce you all the players and show you how all of them are taking advantage of this situation and taking advantage of Abby in order to draw this parallel to you that this is just too far. And no matter the good that Fathering Autism does, which I do think there is some, it does the bad completely and utterly outweighs it, and it's not even close. Okay, so really important to draw that distinction, that there are some good things about this. And people have emailed me and told me that, hey, this is the thing that they've done for me, and I really appreciate this, and I didn't know this about autism and all that, and I get it, right? But again, it's not your place to even be able to take that. It's not yours to have, right? And that's what my argument is today. Let's introduce the team, all right? So first up, we've got Becca Clarke, okay? As a respite worker, likely gets paid by the Fathering Autism team to come in and give respite. Very close to Abby. If you look at her Instagram here, you can see pictures of her on her Instagram. Her Instagram is, you know what strikes me the most about this girl's Instagram? It's funny because I just took these photos off her Instagram, and then I went back to look at the photos, and she's blocked me. So now I got to go to my sock account and like get her photos. But basically, Becca Clarke's Instagram surprisingly doesn't have that many photos, and she has a lot of, I think, over 13,000 followers on Instagram, which is crazy. It took me almost 7 months to get 10,000 subscribers, pushing daily to get that many. And so likely, okay, just in the pushover, 13,000 subscribers on Instagram is a lot, okay? And I just want to draw the parallel that she has photos of Abby on her Instagram and has very little on her Instagram. So I just wanted to say that. I think it's a really important thing, distinction to draw, okay? So Becca Clarke is respite, and then we got to get into Summer Magliacetti, okay? Now, there's a lot that has to go into Summer, and Summer is going to get her own episode. I think it's going to be a dual episode between Summer and Isaiah. Now, Summer is respite. She met Abby at, I think, a surfing camp for kids with autism, and she is a big part of their life. Priscilla often calls her their favorite daughter, which is crazy to me. She calls Abby her best friend. There's a lot of touching. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of holding her in frame. She's kind of just like, she acts like one of the kids. And basically, I think Asa and Priscilla treat her as one. And obviously, I think she's paid. I think she lives on site. I think she is on her way out to go take a job somewhere else, and that's why they're looking for more respite. But Summer is a big player in this, and there's going to be a whole episode on just her and Isaiah. I think really important topic to discuss. But yeah, if you look at Summer Magliacetti, let me look at her on Instagram real quick. I'm blocked from Summer Magliacetti. It's awesome. Like, I laugh because it's like, they're all so scared of the truth. So Summer Magliacetti has 86,000 followers on Instagram. That is a lot of followers for somebody who's like, for what? She has her own YouTube channel, which we'll dive into again on her. I'm not going to get into too much detail. I just want to tell you a little bit about them. But Summer Magliacetti has obviously featured, you know, Abby a lot and other kids that she seems to take care of. She seems to be, this is like her career. I think she's into ABA therapy, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Which is like, we're not going to get really into all that stuff because I don't think it really matters that much. We are going to touch on it though. But she's been, you know, Abby is clearly featured on her Instagram quite a lot. And all we have to do is like, let's take a peek, right? You just look at a main post without her. Like, here's one where she's dabbing. It's got 55 comments, 6,100 likes, right? And you go up to one with her and Abby, okay? You know, 123 comments, 12,000 likes, okay? You go to another one with Abby, 82 comments, 8,900 likes. You know, you got this photo here bugs me a lot, where she's holding her face really tight. When I saw that, I instantly, I'm gonna do a video about this. And then, you know, you got 151 comments, 9,500 likes. And you got here where she's playing volleyball, 20 comments, 5,300. It's clear to me, and this is the case I'm gonna make, obviously the whole thing, is that these people use Abby for their own platforms. For good or bad, right? She's got her always trying to spread awareness and acceptance. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you head over to YouTube channel, like, we're going to look at 61,000 subscribers, okay? And how many videos does she have? Not very many, okay? I have 55,000 subscribers, and I have hundreds of videos. She got like 27 videos and has 61,000 subscribers. To me, that's overflow from Fathering Autism. And I think that's kind of like, if you look at the, you know, the Fathering Autism, for lack of a better term, mafia, fathering, you know, Asa is the godfather, you know, and he's blessing to do these things, helps them. Okay, so we got to dive into Isaiah Moss. Okay, so Isaiah Moss, very similar, 61,000 on his. Isaiah Moss is Abby Moss's older brother. Now, to be honest, I don't know a ton about her older brother. He rarely pops up on my radar for anything bad. I mean, it seems to me like, yes, he takes advantage of his sister too, and his platform is a big part of this. And, you know, he's got 4 comments on a Black Lives Matter post, 1,500 likes. But if you go to a photo with him and his sister, you just need to look at the content of their social media without even a cursory glance. Just look at another picture of him and some random girl. 2 comments, 670 likes, okay? And then you look at him with a picture of his sister, the next one with a picture of him and his sister, right here, 56 comments, 7,400 likes. He's also got a YouTube channel called Isaiah Moss, Fathering Autism here. And again, 64,000 subscribers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 18, about the same, 27 videos, 61,000. It's really very similar to Summer. And I don't think him and Summer have anything going on. They're pretty close, but Isaiah Moss is heading to apparently Appalachian State University. And to me, it feels like the little I do know about him, I feel like he's on a route of his own. He's on a path of his own. I don't think that he wants to be in this as much as Asa and Priscilla like him to be in this. I do believe that he is used as respite, and family does that. I'm not going to throw shade at Asa and Priscilla for using one of their kids to be a part of the family to do the thing they need to do. That's not what I'm throwing shade at. But again, my argument to be made here is that they're clearly using Abby for their own personal gains, and that's all you need to know. Now we got to dive into Priscilla Plagenberg-Moss. Priscilla is the matriarch of the Fathering Autism collective. As far as I'm aware, and as far as from all the videos I've watched, hers and Abby's relationship is very strained. Something tells me that Priscilla Moss doesn't like the cards she was dealt in life, but has made the most of it by exploiting their daughter and then creating a massive platform based off an MLM called Limelight, or Limelight. It used to be called Limelight, now it's called Limelight, whatever the case may be, and has busied herself into oblivion and kind of outside of being a mother. And I know that's a bold statement, but just watch it yourself if you don't think so. And do I blame her? Yeah, I do. I do believe that MLMs are super predatory. They are very, very crazy. MLMs are the bane of the world. They should be illegal, completely illegal, and they're not. And she didn't have to work to get to the status she's at, and she makes quite a lot of money. Quite a lot. And has used Abby Moss to get there. All we have to do is go take a look at her as her Facebook page, right? So you just got to go to Scylla's Stuffin' Things. Like, I know I didn't want to shade too much, but I absolutely hate the name Scylla's Stuffin' Things. Pisses me off. So we did this in a previous video. We just went through her videos where it's just her. Like, this is a brand new one, happened 9 hours ago. And she's got 24 comments, 204 likes. But we have to go a little bit deeper. We'll find a different one that's done like a while ago. Let's go a while ago. So here's a post that she posted on February 2, and it's got 130 comments and 2.8 likes or whatever, right? It's a stupid Limelight mirror that looks dumb. Boss with a boss babe tag. Just stop. And if you go up to the next nearest one with Abby in it, you got 554 comments, 12,000 likes. Just not even close. So I feel like the exploitation goes a little bit too far when you use Abby in the sales of these things. Now, scrolling through her page again, I feel like she's removed a lot of the Abby stuff, which to me is like good, because clearly they are seeing that people are upset, right? They're upset that she's using her daughter. And before, there used to be every other post was her and Abby, right? It needs to be said that on Facebook you can make money. If you have over 10,000 subscribers, or I don't know what it is, you can make some money. But when she's featuring makeup, right? Look at this. She's featuring this big pack of makeup, 2 comments, 103 likes. This pack of makeup, 7 comments, 219 likes, right? When she does videos where she asks questions, people are coming there from the Fathering Autism blog. It's like a vlog for them. Anytime she's posting anything about makeup, no engagement. Yeah, for a page with 72,000 subscribers, she gets almost no engagement on any of the actual business side of her thing. Her videos get a little bit more pumped up, but her engagement for her selling stuff is almost nothing for that many viewers, which leads me to believe that the viewers are just there because of Abby or because they're doing vlogs and they think they're going to see Abby on there. And that she took them off is a good thing. I have all these screenshots here, but you can see Priscilla in my books is just as bad as Asa, who's up next. Now, Asa is obviously the patriarch of the Fathering Autism empire, and has placed himself as a heroic figure in the world of autism by actually calling himself the father of autism, right? Fathering Autism. Basically calling the moniker is insulting to a lot of people because he doesn't father all of autism. He fathers a daughter with autism and IDD. And that's where a lot of people started perking up saying, nah, I don't think he could say that. And then obviously Isaiah with brothering autism, and then just using it as a moniker to sell, right? But how Ace and I met is I started doing videos a while back, and people started asking in the comments, are you going to cover fathering autism? And I said, yes, I will. And then Priscilla, I think, drunkenly came into my chat saying all the stuff, and people screenshotted it all. It's a big deal when she goes into chats, apparently, on all these gossip vlogs, or all these gossip blogs, because when she comes out, people are watching. They have thousands of people watching their every single move, which is crazy. But it needs to be said that Asa and Priscilla both have a legal past. 4 records of her cashing bad checks, which was a felony because they were under $2,000. And Asa with a break and entering thing, and obviously the whole issue with his illegitimate child, who he does not see, who Isaiah and Abby don't get to see, who is older than Isaiah, where he stepped outside of his marriage and said we're separated, and then went and got another girl pregnant, and then tried to avoid paying child support, and then put all his business in Priscilla's name, and then it gets a little bit crazy. I've got a whole video on that where they try to apologize or not, and they didn't apologize. They just said it's none of your damn business, leave us be. But we'll get into that in a minute, because it's going to be really important to talk about him and this idea that he's this amazing dad who's like, look how amazing I am. Because as soon as that hit, that was a huge problem for them. Because people started saying, oh, wait a minute, you are not this dad, this amazing person, because you actually have a child of your loins out in the world who you did not support and who you do not want to see, who doesn't want to see you. And so it's pretty crazy. That was a big deal. So again, I'm a person that will always say this: your past does not have to define your future. But when your past affects your future, and specifically your future that makes your kid and your family money to pay bills, that's dangerous territory to be in. YouTube is a very dangerous place to put all your eggs in. And they have YouTube, and I'm going to talk about that next, is their major, massive platforms, okay, that they've built off of Abby Moss. Really important. So you can go back and look at the video I've done about Priscilla and Asa, because I did a whole video on them. But I want to bring up this one here: fathers of children with autism. Okay, it's his story. It's 4 minutes long. It's not crazy, but it was really important to cover this, because this guy who claims to be the dad of the year, they've won awards and all these kind of things, and comes across as super like, oh, look at me, and he's very calming on the camera, and he's very confident about his abilities and how he comes across. But there is actually them admitting on camera, Priscilla admitting too, that he's a different person when the camera's off. And I definitely see it, because how we met was through the back of Instagram, where he's like, let's chat. And I said, let's chat. And then he got pissed off about something and called and told me I could never even sit at the same table with him, that I'm just a big giant loser. I think he called me a tool bag and all these things. And I was like, well, okay, dude, you're not really willing to have a conversation. They're willing to, engage their narrative when you step outside of their narrative and mess with their money and say things like this: you guys only see what we want you to see. I am making the argument that this is all fake, right? That there is some good that comes from it. But when the money started rolling in for this family, they literally put all their eggs in YouTube and social media's basket off the exploitation of their daughter, and gave other people permission to exploit her too. And that's why I'm pissed. So let's get into this video real quick.
First, let me give a disclaimer. This video was not made to excuse absent parenting.
No.
Nor was it made to chastise anyone. I made this video to give my opinion on a troubling topic.
Well, is there anything better than a sugar-free vanilla iced coffee from McDonald's? There is, but that's all I have right now.
It's no secret that moms take on an overwhelming amount of the load in the special needs community.
But not in this family. Priscilla Moss is I've made the argument before, not interested. That Asa does a lot of the bathing and all the kind of things that go on in this household. They've recently switched to showing Priscilla doing more, because I called them out on it. But we all know who takes the reins here. And a lot of that, I think, conjecture, allegedly, is that because of him stepping out in the past and doing all the thing, all the business being Priscilla's name and everything, she has way more leverage. He just goes along with it.
In fact, my viewer base on this channel, Fathering Autism, is 75% female. Men and women, people, are wired differently. It's part nature, it's part nurture. It doesn't really matter why, we just are. Every marriage is different because of that wiring. I can't tell you why there are so many disconnected and absent fathers. All I can do is give you my story. There was me.
A little generous.
And my wife. And then a baby.
Oh, with one hair.
And then dreams. Oh. Women dream too.
They do.
But women also plan. As the months went by, I dreamt more and more. I
What? Tea parties and dolls? What?
created more and more of an ideal upbringing for my child, her future, what the future would hold. My wife did the same thing. But she also planned. She planned for the future. Then one day, we get a diagnosis. We get a label.
So this is where a lot of people will say yes, but where's the IDD? Because IDD is a really important part of who Abby is too. So just wanted to say that.
My dreams become questions. Her dreams do too, but her plans are still there. When those dreams went away, it became a void. I couldn't find anything constructive to fill that void with, so I filled it with anger.
What?
I became an angry person. That anger cost me friendships, challenged my marriage, and damaged my relationship with my son. I'm a motorcycle mechanic by trade. I fix things. It's what I do.
Not anymore. You are a family vlogger who exploits your child on YouTube.
It's who I am. When my daughter was diagnosed with autism, I couldn't fix this. I have a daughter who has autism that makes up a large part of who she is, and she lives in a world that doesn't understand her. I can't change her autism, but I can change the world around her. And that's my dream. I won't deny that there are just bad parents.
This is where a lot of people drew the line of, like, he did this clearly way before everybody found out about his illegitimate daughter, who he had and didn't support and still doesn't see, who doesn't want to see him. This was what, like, people are like, I don't think you're allowed to do this video, dude.
And I don't think it would matter if it was a parent of a special needs child or a typical child. They'd still be bad parents. That just exists. And unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about it. And if you're
there's lots you can do about a bad, shitty parent.
in one of those relationships, I'm deeply, deeply sorry. To the wives, try to understand that your husband comes from a place where he can fix things.
Super offensive, right? A lot of people have different roles to play. He's literally labeling every wife as the planner who does all the things, and the husbands are just like, they fix shit. You can't say that. You can't say that, right? Am I right?
With his hands, or control the situation with his words. Understand where he comes from, and that he looks at this situation and he can't do anything about it.
Unless he's saying him. I think maybe he's saying him.
And it's killing him. Talk to him. Tell him what you need from him. But don't tell him in the heat of the moment. To the husbands.
What is he projecting here? Something's up. What is he saying? This is a weird video.
The dads. Man up.
Yeah, this is where people got pissed. Man up, eh? Here's the issue, Asa, is that you say this and you... this is where I'm going to draw the line where he comes across as, look at me, superhero dad. Not all heroes wear capes. Look how amazing we are on our YouTube channel. Just admitted he lives in anger. And then he just admitted dad step up when he is a father who literally did not step up at all. Like, there's literally a child in the world right now that has lived without a father or support for most of her life until they came at him legally. And he was hiding from it. And we'll get into that in a future video, but like, that's where people got super pissed, where he said that. All the while, his past from this moment here was hiding such a deep, dark secret and still had the balls to do a video like this.
This is a team sport. Your wife needs you. You need to be there. You need to be there for your kids. You need to do what needs to be done for your kids to progress. It may not have been.
Like what? Support them? Pay their child support that you owed them? That could have probably helped this poor family that you screwed, basically. It's the irony is amazing. The hypocrisy blows my mind.
You expected it to be, but it is what it is, and you got to deal with it. This was not a feel-good video. I didn't really want to do this one. I saw the topic come up on a Facebook page that I frequent, and during our live Facebook live feed, somebody asked about how to get an absent father involved, and I thought it was an important thing to address.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch this. That's bullshit what he's saying right there. How do you get an absent father involved? In their case, they had to sue you. They had to fine you legally. Like that, to me, it should have been deleted. I don't know why he didn't delete that video. That's crazy that he left that up. That was insane. Step up, eh? It bothers me as a dad who, especially adopted dad and a dad who loves his kids like fiercely. Would never ever abandon my children, ever, 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 like ever. That bothers me a lot. And so that brings me to this next little piece here. Right off the end of that, there's this video that's out there called Child Services Visits Again, okay? And I need to bring this in because talking about deadbeat dads and all this kind of stuff, step up and all this, and I've done this in a past video too, where they sat in the pool and told them how amazing they are, and they feed the homeless people, and they're so incredible. Why would people want to send, CPS after us? But this is just, I want to show this part of this video. I haven't even seen this. So about how many times CPS Child Services visits them, because people are calling, and they think it's fans who are calling, or haters, but they don't realize that it could be teachers. Remember when Priscilla dropped Abby off at school with a giant bloody nose, was vlogging with her hand on her camera like this and looking in the back seat and moving it around, driving on a highway and saying, "We're coming in hot."
So this is starting off exciting. Abby.
So Abby's got a blanket on her head because she's covered in blood right now.
I look back there and she pulled the blanket up and she has a bloody nose and it's everywhere. So we're one exit from her school and I'm gonna have to text them when I get to a stoplight and tell them we're coming in hot.
We're coming in hot, meaning she's gonna drop her off full of blood and clean her up. And she drops her kid off with a full bloody face at school because she's got a meeting to go to. Remember that? And then people were getting mad at me because I vlog in my car. Like, hey guys, the car drives itself. Doesn't matter. I get it. But all that to say is that maybe it could have been a teacher, and they don't know this because the child services will never tell them. But let's go off the idea that they're amazing, and let's get into this next one.
Really, she was a nice lady. That was I feel like she was on the verge of laughing at the allegations. Yeah. She was like, "I watched your videos. I didn't see any of that."
I've told you guys this many times. When you have to project the things so that everybody knows the things, those things they're not there. And they're like, she laughed. She thought this was hilarious. We're amazing parents. When you have to say the thing, you're not the thing. I said this in my last video on Bible Stories of Swearing. Righteous and good people, they are without them telling you. People who have great relationships, lovely marriages, and all these types of things, they don't ever tell you. You just know. It just is a thing. When people have to tell you how amazing they are, they're not. Okay? Let's be real. That's a big thing with family vloggers. They all get on cameras and show how amazing their marriage is, and you got, bits of Brie on the beach with her boob out into the poster, people pointing out all this stuff, and like, how amazing they are. And these people are living, they mostly are broken families. When you have to tell people that you're the thing, you're not the thing. But he's pissed here.
Guys, she's parked right there.
I was like, whose car is that?
Yeah. DCF.
Such a nice lady, though.
Just doing her job. I got no hate for DCF at all. They get these false reports.
Not false reports, as far as I'm concerned.
But, man, what a waste of resources. You absolute trash cans that report this stuff. Trash cans. Worthless people. Don't even know you. Don't care. It's who you are.
This is another thing that he projects this a lot. When he's upset, he's like, you're nothing to me. I don't know you an excuse. I don't know you. I hate you. So you're nothing. So why do an entire video on it? And you're steaming mad about it. These people need to learn to get off a camera when it comes time to these things, because it makes them look worse. You're wasting resources. You listen to the issue here is that DCF is being called more than once. Something's wrong. People are worried. And your daughter jumped into a pool because you didn't lock the door properly, could have drowned and died, right? There's too much going on that people are seeing. DCF doesn't just get called for people who are like abusing their kids physically or not feeding them or whatever the case may be. This exploitation that you're doing here is abuse as far as I'm concerned. And as far as thousands of people are concerned. So that's why they're calling. Or the school called because you dropped her off with a giant ass bloody face.
Sure, deal with it.
Deal with it. I'll deal with it.
She commended us for being amazing parents.
Yeah, I doubt that. Love to see those notes. Why don't you record that?
So, there's that. She's got to do her investigation.
See, this bothers me so much because he's coming on to try to justify that they're so amazing. You should have just kept your mouth shut. You didn't have to say a word. If you're scared about these trolls, as you call them, or trash cans, doing this, why are you filming it? You're giving them what they want.
As soon as the
because it's content.
Investigation's over, I already contacted a lawyer. As soon as the investigation's closed, then we can pursue defamation of character. So
it's not defamation of character. When somebody is worried about your child that you're exploiting, it's not defamation against you. They're just worried. They want them to check up. Clearly, CPS had reason to come to your house and check up. It's not just some, hey, I think that they're doing this. They're probably likely showing them videos.
Yep. We're not laying down for this one. We're not just going, we'll just let it go, whatever.
I thought it didn't matter. He didn't care. You're amazing. You get awards.
You know, no. You want to actually come after us? Okay.
Yeah.
Does that sound to you like somebody who is like a really good dad, lives above board, forgiveness, grace, understanding? Don't forget, this guy went to seminary, okay? Not sure they're believers, but to me, I know, like, I would be upset too, right? Don't get me wrong. I would absolutely be upset if someone's calling CPS on me for no reason. But you live in a world where people see your every move. Your damn fridge has a lock on it, so your kid can't get food out of it. I get it. But at the same time, you have to understand that somebody who's like, well, I'm coming after you legally. Screw you, you trash bag and all this stuff. And he calls people, like, this guy's projecting anger on a camera. Can you imagine how angry he is when the camera's off? Could you imagine what's going on around that house?
Over that crap.
Yep.
I did get to show our awards for parenting and family.
Yeah, he did this at the one where they were in the pool talking about how they fed homeless people and they have awards for parenting and family. We'll get into the awards.
Showed her those. She thought that was funny.
It's amazing.
We go health awards for
Pretty sure Jeffrey Epstein won some awards too.
For advocates for autism.
A lot of people win awards doesn't make you good parents. Clearly by people's vlogs, and what I'm pointing out here is that these vlogs are fake. So you're not really, I don't understand how people give a parent an award when you don't really know shit. There should be no such thing as parenting awards because that's bullshit. We all know it's bullshit.
Yeah.
And the fact that they keep flexing that they have these parent awards, which were likely fan voted to win, pisses me off.
Be careful on where you get your information from because it makes you look foolish.
Oh, where do we get our information from, Priscilla? Oh yeah, your vlog. Where else would they get their information from? You're the ones putting it out there. It makes us look foolish. You just made yourself look completely foolish because where are people getting information from you?
For real.
Anybody can make a video look bad
Yeah.
by editing and stopping and chopping it up.
What was the quote? She vocalized no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kid who's never spoken a word.
Yeah.
I love how this brother gets into it. He's like, oh yeah, the kid's never vocalized anything. Yeah, proving my point completely. She can't vocalize anything. They just flexed on the fact that she can't. Right?
They said she vocalized the and I'm, you know, I know this is coming off to a lot of you as like, wait, what's going on? We've been dealing with this for days. Videos were made coming after us. There's a whole group of this tiny little percentage of viewers on YouTube
It's thousands
that are on this lady's videos.
Oh, is he talking about there's some girl out there that does videos on these guys, or a couple of them, and they shredded them, and he gets super upset. And he's like, he has to tell how small they are so he can say, look, they're nothing. And then I started doing videos about it, and now other people can start doing videos about him.
Just trashing us in the comments and sending DCF out here. So they even posted our address, which I'm pretty sure is doxing.
That is doxing. Never post someone's address.
Post our address in the comments. So, yep, that's how that's gonna go. But yeah, that case will be closed soon because we are awesome parents. We're awesome parents. That's all there is to it.
You know, you can't say that. You're not allowed to say that because you exploit your kid. Maybe you think you're awesome, but the issue is that you're unwilling to even explore the idea that you are exploiting a daughter who can't even speak without her consent and taking away her dignity. You don't even want to explore the option and say, are we doing this? Are we doing this? And just coming across saying, again, let me reiterate the phrase, and maybe I need to make a t-shirt. If you have to say the thing, you can't be the thing. Like, I can say I have an amazing mustache. Not true. If I have to say it, it's not true.
You're dead wrong. Oh, the one about punishing her by sweeping was in the. You mean the thing that our ABA therapist came up with? That was a board certified behavior analyst that said this would be.
Well, we'll get into ABA soon, but some people think ABA is wrong. Some people think it's right. It's not a settled argument, but if someone thinks it's wrong, right? And if they feel heavily that ABA is wrong, a lot of people think that ABA is torture. Or it's punishment-based behavioral therapy, like it's changing behavior based on punishment or actions. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I'm trying to get professionals on to talk to me about it and you about it so we can be more educated, because that's important. Maybe ABA is right, but I guess we just have to prevent both sides of the argument and then come up with our own conclusions.
Good idea to punish certain behaviors with.
Yeah.
That one from over a year ago.
Such a terrible like connotation to it. Like we're punishing her. Like she's sweeping because she made a mess.
There are circumstances for choices that are made. That's how life is. Oh.
Yeah, but that's how life is for a neurotypical person, right? It's not lost on me that when you have a special needs child, special dispensation needs to be made for who they are, right? If you have a special needs child, they're not going to be doing the things a neurotypical child will be doing. So I feel like they're almost trying to force this normal behavior on her to try to fix it. I don't know. But to me, it can't be lost on a lot of other people either that Abby is not a neurotypical girl. You know, she has IDD and she has autism. So she just, I don't know how to express that properly, so I don't want to say it, but it feels like to me like if she has special needs, then she probably has special wants and special desires and needs special needs things done for her. Do you know what I mean? I'll go back to the time I worked for a year full time with 3 nonverbal autistic individuals, and they weren't responsible to any of that stuff. We were their chauffeurs, we were their maids, we were their cleaning people, we were their laundry doers, we dressed them, everything. And, you know, if they acted out or whatever, they were adults and they got to just do what they wanted, basically. When you have special needs, you already have it hard enough. So why do you make their life harder is all I want to ask. And I could be wrong about that. Does it make their life harder when you do the things that they don't really want to do? I don't know. It's a really, really weird world, which I'm not educated enough to tell you the truth until I learn more, and I'm going to do that. Making it my pursuit to learn all I can about this, so that I'm not just spouting shit, because I don't think that's going to be helpful to anybody either.
I'm so glad DCF employees are so kind now. They're such nice people.
I know.
Both times they have come.
You see what I'm seeing here, guys? Well, if the DCF's watching this, they're so nice, they're so amazing. You know DCF's going to watch this and go back. It's like, they're so nice. Don't do this. This just makes you look guilty.
If you don't know, I'm sure everybody's seen the video, but this is the second time that these fools have wasted DCF time when they could be out helping other children.
You could do 2 things at once. There's more than one DCF agent in Florida, okay? Stop this. Like, I know that DCF, like, let's be real, DCF and CPS and all these child protective services, they can't do shit anyway. They can't do shit anyway. They wouldn't do shit. So, likely, you know, they have a job to do. They have to do the job. They can't just skip one because it's a waste of time. They have to do it all.
Bad things happen. You made my mom cry.
That's not hard to do.
we discussed these things before we like do we put this on the vlog or not? You know, but
yep, it's content.
There are things there's crap that we have to deal with, and we want to share it with you guys because this is our lives. Like I've said so many times before.
We do so much more with Abigail than other parents she's had with special needs kids, and that she's very well taken care of.
Yeah.
How does she know? And stop flexing that. Oh, we do so much more. You guys, Priscilla, you're on your phone every 2 seconds. You're on your phone right there on an MLM, taking advantage of other people who you're basically in a predatory MLM. You are literally, they traveled 10 times during COVID. And she's been on many, many retreats. She rarely hangs out with her daughter, okay? Summer and Becca are the ones who do the respite almost daily. Like, they have daily respite. They're doing vlogs and videos. They're driving around. They're shopping. They're baking. They're cooking. I'm sorry. Yeah, Abby definitely has more care than probably a lot, and that's awesome. But it's not from you. It's from the people you hire.
And I'm going to take her advice over some rando who watches a video every once in a while just to get dirt on us.
Right.
The dirt exists, and you just said it did. That's the problem. The dirt exists, not a selectively edited video. It exists. You put it out there. Everything that they have is because you put it out. How is this lost on these people? Is it, like, really?
So she goes into a lot of homes, and she was not concerned one bit.
Or we're going to, take the accolades of board certified behavior analysts and the company that we were guest speakers for at the statewide conference that we were on.
I don't like people like this, and I know I've had friends in my life like this. Like, look at all of our accolades and all the places we've spoken. I have many leather-bound books, and my house smells of rich mahogany. Like, get off, Daddy. I cannot stand when people do this. Like, it actually, though, I mean, again, this is why this is so psychologically interesting to me, is that people who actually do this, there's something behind it. There's an ulterior motive. There's something behind the way that they flex all these things. What is it? Some people who are smarter than me will know why people like this do that.
Parents panel for the organizations that have awarded us for doing what we do. And
yeah, I'd like to look into those organizations and ask them the question: why are you awarding a family who exploits their nonverbal autistic IDD daughter against her wishes and without consent, and takes away her dignity? I'd like to ask them that question. Maybe I will, and see if they'll respond. I doubt they will.
all the nonprofits that we've worked with and all of this.
All the homeless people you fed, and all the aliens, all the people you saved from aliens from the earth, and all the kids that you saved from third world countries, and but that daughter that you had, yeah, what about her? What about her? Right?
Take their opinion way higher than yours.
Except you didn't do a video about them. You did a video about this person, this trash can that you hate. You did literally a 10-minute segment about him on your very, exploitative, popular, money-making channel.
For those of you that...
It's just so ironic. It's like, we don't like you. We're not going to take your opinion. Yet we're going to do an entire video about how we hate you.
Decided this needed to be a thing to waste our time and waste that lady's time and potentially...
You said that.
Put another child at risk because you've utilized that caseworker's time when they could be spending it rescuing a child that really needs rescuing. Do you know what happens to a teenager, special needs young lady when she goes into the system, nonverbal? Do you know what happens to them? Oftentimes, this is from the horse's mouth, they are not prepared for, the system is not built for special needs people that have high level of needs like Abigail.
I've covered this before too, that Abigail is such a public figure now. And this could be the only benefit. And again, I've also said this. I never ever think that Abby should be taken away from this family. I don't think that they abuse her to a level that she needs to be taken away. I just have challenged them to take her off the channel. Continue on with the channel with the education for parents with kids with autism. Continue on with all that, but just take her off. I would never want to see this girl removed, because he's right. You don't want to put a kid in the system ever if you can help it. Specifically, yes, a kid with autism. No, you don't want that to happen. And I would never want to see that happen ever. So, but he's right here. Like, that's not, the end game should not be that. The end game should just be more protections for kids like this. If we're not going to give protections through Coogan law, if that's not going to happen, at least let's take a vulnerable sect of our society, like kids with autism and IDD, and protect them. Let's start there. That's a good place to start. I think so, right? But yeah, no, we don't want that to be a thing. I don't think that they are parents deserving of having her taken away. I don't think it ever goes. I don't think I've ever seen anything that reaches to that level.
Done.
Don't get too mad. Don't get too mad.
See, look at what Isaiah's saying. Please don't get too mad. Don't get too mad. Like that. If there's nothing else I need proof of, is that he's just saying that out because he knows because the camera's off. This guy's going to be fuming. This is an angry, very angry individual who, from the video I just showed you, told us he was.
Done talking about that?
Yeah, you're also wasting our time. I know you said that, but we got things to do, man. I gotta go get medicine now, and that wastes our time.
Yeah. Did you talk about his sickness?
Are they blaming the person because they're doing a vlog that's wasting time because he has to go get medicine? You just didn't have to do this. Again, ironic much?
By the way.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what's wrong with him. I think he's okay.
Fine.
Yeah, he's okay.
My throat feels better. It hurt really bad.
Okay, I'm done with this shit. So real quick, I'm going to close this up because there's just so much. I'm sorry this is so long, but you guys don't care. The history of the channel is really important to talk about too, because now that we've introduced the actors and we talk about the main players, obviously the two most problematic are Priscilla and Asa. Asa being the main arbiter of this entire thing. Priscilla being a person that's willing to take advantage of it, but I don't think is super on board for the whole thing as much as Asa has been. Everybody taking advantage, like Becca, Summer, and Isaiah, everybody building their platforms off the back of Abby, right? So some of the notes I've gotten here, it's important to acknowledge Abby's diagnosis of both autism and IDD, intellectual and developmental disabilities. Allegedly, Priscilla seems to not be able to accept Abby's IDD diagnosis. They also minimize the IDD diagnosis. You rarely hear about it. They know the money and attention lies on autism, which I said before. This is ableism, and where my notes here and people that are helping me along with this to me and to them is very ableist. And I often get commented that I'm ableist for doing these videos. And it's just, these people just throw words around like they don't even matter. By ignoring that aspect of who she is and only focusing on autism, they've done a huge disservice to both her and others with this diagnosis. If you have the platform, use it for everything, not just what lines your pockets. Very, very good point. So obviously I had a ton more to talk about. There's so many videos. We'll get into next week. I really want to dive in next week into the idea of what happened when this whole thing went down with the apocalypse and how it kind of changed where they were and how we're going to change their money, how adaptive people need to be making money, and which will prove my point that these people are just here to make money. And they're not even shy to talk about that. Right? They will admit we do this because it's for her future, right? They're talking about what happens when we die. I've alluded to the idea that these people do not live healthy lifestyles enough to keep up with her, and likely, you know, unless they make major changes, don't have the wherewithal or the self-discipline to actually take care of their own selves, let alone their daughter, right? Who needs to be taken care of as much as like a toddler would have need to take care of, right? If you're not active in your own life, you can't take care of your own health, and you literally have a person who is like a toddler needs to be taken care of 24 hours a day, and you're not willing to take care of your own self, that speaks volumes to me. Okay. When I made the choice to lose this weight, when I made the choice to get the surgery to lose I was almost 310 pounds, I made the choice, a very difficult decision in my life. And I made that choice because I really, really needed to be in my kids' lives, and I wanted to protect their future and be here for them. And that's why I did that thing. And that's why I've kept the weight off since. Well, COVID-15, let's be real. So I know this is kind of a jumbled video, but I wanted to introduce the people and then talk about what's coming up next. So next week, we're going to dive into really, really important thing. We're going to talk about the platform that they've built, the numbers the people have exploited, which we've kind of touched on here, and those people that ingest this content. And next week, do not miss what we're going to show you. It is going to be mind-blowing to you what I show you, what I found. Some of these fans, as soon as I found this, I actually reached out to Ace and I said, do you know this exists? You know, all this aside, all the things I'm doing aside, all this aside, do you know that this exists? And clearly he ignored me, right? And I know he knows it exists because I told him, but I'm sure other people have brought it to his attention. But you do not want to miss what's going to be on next week. The many meet and greets, and all the way that she portrays her body and does not want to be there, the way she takes photos. And I've drawn this distinction before. We can see on her Instagram when she's happy. Like, a lot of people call me ableist because I say something like, I can tell in an Instagram photo when Abby's happy and when she's not. And they're like, you don't know. I'm like, I can literally see it. We can see videos where she doesn't want to be in the frame and they're holding her there. We can see this, right? And they call me ableist for saying that. Now, I'm a person who can read people's body language. I'm very good at reading energies, whatever you want to call it. When I meet a person, I'm very aware of my own, how I come across, and I'm very aware of it, okay? I'm very aware that when she does these things, she doesn't want to be there, and everybody knows I'm right about that. But because I say that, I'm ableist, right? But I'm going to draw that conclusion next week. But do not miss next week's video where we talk about this insane world that could possibly be very dangerous for Abby, and they know it, okay? Now, it is what it is. It's going to be very crazy. Thank you for watching this. If you have any issues about what I've said, leave comments below. Leg humpers, you're more than welcome to leave comments below. I'll likely try to answer them. Just stop coming at me with your jowl-ass. Okay, it's not going to work. If you come into this comment section and you talk about how like they're not doing anything wrong, don't say it. You're going to get deleted because you're absolutely doing something wrong when you exploit a girl who's underage, specifically someone who will never be able to verbally consent and give consent ever. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, and who has no dignity because her parents took that from her, okay? If you're not willing to come at me with an argument that settles that for me and comes at me with a cognizant argument that really says, okay, what have I missed? What makes this okay? What have I missed? Because a lot of people will say, well, they're helping. But it's not her responsibility to help those people. She doesn't get the choice to say, yes, I want to help them or not. Okay, so don't come at me with that shit because it's just going to be gone, all right? I love when people come in and comment and, you know, help me the algorithm, do the thumbs down, do what you got to do. But stop coming at me unless you have something to argue, unless you have an answer to that question, okay? Otherwise, you're just going to be laughed at by everybody who's just going to come at you, okay? There's too many people invested in Abby's safety and her future, that it's going to do you wrong, okay? So, big video, I know, very long, you don't care. But head over to Instagram, guys, and like me on Instagram, because that is actually how my voice grows and gets louder, and it gives me more power, or whatever you want to say, social clout, in order to raise more awareness and talk about this a lot. Again, I'm never going to be snarking on this family, so don't expect it. It's not going to happen, okay? But heading over to Instagram actually does help me. Subscribing to this channel, subscribing to the Dad Challenge channel helps. If you want to buy me a coffee that helps support this channel, you can do so. If you don't have any money, please don't. Just I don't really need it. But so for those of you who like to buy me coffees, that's how you can do that. But yeah, we're gonna dive into this for real. So everybody take a deep breath with me. Breathe it out. Let's do another one of those. Really important to do this. Not a lot of people do this, okay? Take another deep breath. And say this with me, okay? I am valuable because I'm here fighting for someone who can't speak up for themselves. Because I'm spreading awareness by showing people what these people are doing is wrong, right? I'm here because I'm interested in this topic and I want to make sure that this girl is being protected. That makes you incredibly, incredibly valuable. And dang, you look good today. Like did you do something with your hair? I mean, it just looks like, yeah, I really, really dig it. I cannot wait to get it. That's why I'm wearing hats all the time now. I can't wait to get a haircut, guys. I'm so over looking like this. Anyway, I really appreciate you being here, and stay tuned next week. It's going to be a bomb, like bomb drops galore. You guys are not going to want to miss it, so I will see you then. Thanks for being here.